you able to see at the back? Justice Zwoni Tava, our guest of honor today, the board chairperson of MIPS, Mr. Ramos Nyambo, and all the board members present here. The president-elect, Mrs. Marisawa, the chief executive officer, Mrs. Mwale, and all staff of the MIPS secretariat, the director of PPDA, Mr. Elias Hausi, all members of the MIPS, especially the paid up ones. I'm told that there's a difference in the paid up ones. Our sponsors, and I've seen our Justice Sullivan did say, members of the press, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. I'm not very good at these things, so I had to write it down and I forgot it, so I was going to. Yeah. It gives me so much pleasure to stand before you today, and believe me when I say I'm nervous. Because my name there is Vera Kamtukule, but I forgot to put an MRIS at the beginning of my name because I am actually married, believe it or not. And my husband is in this room, not as my husband supporting me, but as a MIPS member. And that's what is creating the pressure. For the past 14 years, I've done what I'm about to do to you, and I do it so well. This is why I'm standing before you today. But today I'm a little bit nervous because he's sitting here and you'll be validating me. However, as a leader, we stand above the noise and we neglect the fact that home is here and we are going to do the job. So may God bless me as I'm about to. They told me to talk about leadership and professionalism, style supportive for SME growth. So basically it is about a micro, small, medium enterprise and leadership story. So here is what we know for now. We have restricted tenders that are used when there is no agency, requiring limits on potential bidders. We also know that there's leakage and improper procurement, that leakage and improper procurement make this economy dual supply chains necessary. We also know that prices are set improperly, and that fulfillment of clauses are not enforced. Most times, contracts values are inflated. As a result, we have all of these gates that we have seen, maze gate, tractor gate, whatever gate that is there. That has led to the suffering of businesses, bottom lines, job losses, suffering of the citizens, which is what we have to talk about seriously. Substandard structures, loss of taxpayers' money, as well as loss of trust from donors and would-be investors. Against this background, therefore, the importance of enhancing the integrity and the professionalism of leaders in the procurement profession cannot be overemphasized. So I'm coming from a background that I am assuming that all of us here are leaders. It broke my heart when the president was speaking and saying, and even our anchor this morning was saying we are undervalued. Even the board chairperson also alluded to the fact that you are undervalued, you're not in the boardroom and all of that. However, as a motivational speaker, I want to say that you shouldn't be externally motivated. So what if they don't recognize you're not in the boardroom? At the end of the day, you are the one that is going to spend the 2.2 trillion that we just passed in Parliament. That on its own should give you the impetus to look beyond what they're able to do. The moment a person is experiencing external pressure, you can never be happy. Like today, I put on this suit. This suit actually has my name on it. And my husband said, you look good. But even if he didn't say you look good, I was still going to think, I look good. Internally motivated. And so it doesn't matter if they're not recognizing you, you recognize yourself. So when you look at the papers, you don't see much of people in the procurement profession. You are not speaking for yourselves. Believe me, there's no one that is sitting in their offices at Capitol Hill thinking about how to elevate your status. You don't do that, nobody else is going to do it for you. So outline, I really don't do well on outlines. Actually, when you consider my presentation, it's not going to have all of these things that I'm talking about. I had to put it here because I had to be conventional. So I'm going to talk about leadership in general. I'm going to talk about leading in crisis, leadership in SMEs, professionalism. I'm going to talk about job creation. Of course, I have to talk about the 1 million jobs. and then the role of procurement profession in the growth of SMEs. So what is leadership? Bill Hybels defines it as taking people from here to there. I think it's a very, very simple definition, but it encompasses everything that we're going to talk about today. Taking people from here to there. If you're talking about growing MSMEs, you need to take them from there, where they're a briefcase institution, to there, where they're occupying spaces in the corporate world. Adeyemi and Bolwaniwa in 2013 defined leadership as the art or process of influencing people so that they will strive willingly towards the achievement of objectives. And Lee Laposa says that whether you are leading a nation, a company, a church, it doesn't matter what it is. Leadership is about taking people through change and managing the change through creativity. There are a lot of times that we have to step up and be creative and be innovative so that we navigate our way through the changes that are going to happen, always going to happen as we move ahead in the journey of life. The here and there that I'm talking about varies on the context, so it depends on what we're talking about. And I'm going to demonstrate to you in a minute what I'm talking about. So in sports, for example, we have the here, the losers, and then we have the there, the winners. In politics, we have there, a ghetto girl, and then we have the here, the ghetto girl, and then the there. Oh my God, in cabinet. In education, we have the here, 150,000 young girls below the age of 18 are getting pregnant every single year. And I want to believe that has doubled with COVID-19. So 46% of girls, they're getting married before the age of 18 as well. So we are 18 million as we stand now, but I think if we were to do a census again, I don't think we are 18 million anymore. We must be around 20 or even 21 million. In governance, we have the here. I just didn't have a good picture to demonstrate the here that we had, but we now have the there. Good governance, Tonse government. And then in business, we have that man who is running an Okala. And then we have a jet-owning individual. That's Dangote, by the way. A Bill Gates sitting individual, Mr. Dangote of Nigeria. And then we have a woman that is selling tomatoes. We want to move. What do we do to move this woman from selling tomatoes on the streets to running a successful corporate entity in society? So what must we do as leaders to move people from here to there? The first thing that we need to do is to create a dissatisfaction of the here. You can't take people from where they are to another place if they don't believe that's not the place that they're supposed to be. And that is the greatest challenge that leaders have. To convince them, oh my that's why people spend so much money campaigning, so that you should take them from here to there. And as a leader, it is your job to ensure that you are showing a picture of why the here is not good enough for them. As Malawians, we know that we deserve better. And believe me, I'm not being political, I'm just stating facts. So please, I am not wearing the hat of a politician as I speak, I'm wearing the hat of a leadership coach as I stand before you this morning. Number two, you share a compelling idea of the there. If people don't understand how it is going to be in the there, they will not want it. But if you give them an illusion of what it is, how life is going to be once you get there, if people don't have an idea of what Canaan looks like, they will not want to live here. So it is your job as a leader to share a compelling idea of how the there is going to look like to those that are following you. Number three, you need to provide a toolkit for progress from here to there. How are we going to get there? Because it's not easy to move from here to there. You can't help people live here or help people reach where they're supposed to go if they don't know how they can get there. And that's the power that leaders have. Sometimes you find yourself in a place where you are the only one that knows how things are supposed to be done. But your job as a leader is to ensure that you dissect that, dilute it, so that everybody within your team understands how things are going to be done, so that you get there as a team. The toolkit of leadership. These are things that you need to put in your toolbox at any given point in time, So that as we move the journey of leadership from here to there, you go in there and take the things that you need. Number one, you need to select the right people. The reason why Singapore is where it is because they put in place people that are supposed to be there. Usually people ask me, those are the things. But as a leader, they have to select the people. So the process of selection, believe me, I have absolutely no idea why they selected. But I'm just saying that as a leader, your job is to select the people that are going to do the job at a particular time. So you select the people, you equip them, you train them, and then you influence them in various directions. And then you choose the people that have various gifts, various talents, various skills, various abilities, and have them focus on a particular vision. There was a time I was doing exactly what I'm doing with Airtel customer care staff. And so I asked them, what does Airtel do? And everybody was raising their hands and explaining to me what Airtel does. He does this, he does this. So I said, okay, what does your department do? So they were telling me what their department does. It was very easy. And then once I zeroed down to what exactly do you as a person do to contribute to the overall existence of Airtel, people had problems doing that. Why? Because it becomes a little bit difficult for people to understand, to say how a receptionist at Airtel contributes to the growth of the institution. And if people are unable to do that, it means there's a problem with leadership somewhere. And so it's the job of a leader to ensure that the reason why we are here is understood by everyone, even the lowest cadre within the institution. And then you help them to willingly and enthusiastically give themselves up, their spirit, their emotions, their physicalities, to ensure that they are moving together to achieve your objectives as an institution. Now, for you to be able to use this toolkit of leadership, you cannot lead if you are unable to lead yourself. The board chairperson was talking about when he came here, he was excited, I'm going to change things, and people were pumping him up, go and change. You know, sometimes these things, go and change, is coming from a jealous perspective. What's that if you know this is you know? So they were telling him, go and change things, and he was excited, I'm going to change things. But once he got there, he realized that the person that needed to change was actually himself. If you're not able to lead yourself, you have no jurisdiction of leading someone. It's as simple as that. And how do we lead other people? We lead them through the choices that we make every single day. Every single day. The food that you eat, the words that come out of your mouth, everything that you're doing, as a human being, those are the choices that you're making. You are going to influence people like that. And that's how you lead yourself. And when people look at you, they are going to see what kind of a leader that you are. Now, we are living in a difficult world. In leadership, we're calling it a VUCA period. A VUCA period is, now we are in a volatile situation. The COVID-19 has brought about so many challenges we are going to talk about later. And we are living in an uncertain time. And then it's highly complex. Although we have gathered today, tomorrow the Minister of Health is going to say, no more gatherings. It's complex, it's complicated. And then it's very, very ambiguous. We don't know what it is. It's airborne. No, it's not airborne. If you touch. Yeah, if you wear a mask, it is very ambiguous. It's not clear. It's too vague of the situation that we find ourselves in. And therefore, leaders have to step up to still lead and be inspirational to those that are leading them. The government has to be there to provide hope for people that are hopeless, people that have lost their jobs, people that people that are sick in the hospitals, people that have individuals and relatives that have died to COVID-19. Leaders still must lead that kind of bunch of people that are complex, they're living in life in problems, different kind of problems. You still have to lead them. And now you can't do that if you're not emotionally intelligent. That's the next slide. I want to talk about, to help us in terms of, when I talk about leading, that you can't lead if you're not leading yourself. I want to talk about you leading from an emotionally intelligent perspective. This is what distinguishes good leaders from great leaders. So you can be a good leader, but you may never be a great leader if your emotions are all over the place. You can have a very, very high IQ. By MSc, because 6 points, everything, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. But you're going to suck as a leader if you're not emotionally intelligent. Emotional intelligence is usually undervalued, and it's very, very, very important if you're going to succeed as a leader. So emotionally intelligent leaders They know how to lead. They regulate themselves to avoid being driven by emotions. Sini pasa business so no, emotional intelligent people do what is right. Business the answer is yes. It doesn't matter whether there is no. Give them the business anyway. The other stuff you're going to talk about it later. As a matter of fact, that's not your business. You are a public officer. Why should you use your emotions to give a business to somebody else? The problem that we are having usually, favors procurement professionals, we personalize our jobs. It's not ours. Especially, my husband works for the government. He works for the EU. I know what he does. It's not his. The first thing you need to know about leadership is, as long as it was given to you by a system that consists of human beings, it's also going to be taken away one time. So you matter, therefore, what you would have done within the period that you had that power. Always remember that. So don't use your emotions, your personal issues. Therefore, business in India, don't do that. Don't do that. Number 4, they exhibit resilience. When things go wrong, and they are well galvanized against emotional shocks to position themselves to anchor those that may not be emotionally strong. Because in the VUCA period, and so you need emotionally intelligent people, intelligent leaders that are going to carry the other ones. It is going to be okay. It is going to be okay. I was sitting with the president the other day, and then he was talking, so we were talking about all of these challenges we are facing, and the president said something very profound. He said, Honorable Deputy Minister, things are gonna get better. You know, it makes me feel good. A leader must inspire hope in the people that is leading. So it doesn't matter how bleak the situation may be, but if your leader says, it is gonna be okay, you know it is gonna be okay, irrespective of what may be happening at that very moment. Number 5, they deliver on their promises and take responsibility for their actions. Things go wrong in the procurement department. You don't lose somebody. The procurement officer, the manager, the officers. No, they take responsibility. Director, I take full responsibility for those things that happen, and I'm going to commit to ensuring that this doesn't happen again. That's a leader. You know what? It says a lot about you if you are projecting the problem on the other person than it does about the other person. Because it was your job to ensure that he doesn't mess up in the first place. If you are the manager, then why would you let him mess up? You didn't do your job right, that's why he went astray. Yeah. So it tells more about you as a leader. It projects your feebleness as a leader if you're projecting a problem onto your followers. Number 5, they empathize. They're never scared of standing out for justice. You know, justice, the justice that is here, it's not, I don't think justice makes you popular. Justice, it makes you unpopular actually. And so if you stand up as a procurement professional and say, our business is the bad side, you stand up and do that. That's why when you say, you tell me I was being stifled. See, why you resign? Because you are better off resigning from your post than for you to keeping your job, which is a selfish thing. Anyway, keeping your job so that you should be politically correct. Stand up for justice, and the world is going to agree with you. No, somebody see, because you are saying, yes, that's what is expected of the leader. They exercise consistency in the choices that they make. I told you that we lead through the daily choices that we make every single day. All right? So it doesn't mean and then after 3 months, we're talking about consistency of approach. There should be something unique about what you do and how you do. My husband wears a white shirt every single day. The moment you're going to find him wearing a pink shirt, please call me. Something is wrong. Consistency in what you do, and that's why he put me under pressure. I had to dress like this today. He asked me, "What are you wearing?" Now on the suit and he knew I'm going to be politically correct and I will not embarrass him. So that's what I'm saying. You need to have consistency in the approach. Everything that you do, there must be a mark of distinction that is actually unique to you. And don't is this. You know, and I tell people, even we are there, you do whatever it is that your hands finds to do it exceptionally well. Yeah. When I don't do my bed, my husband knows, and I allow that. Because there's a way on how I make the bed. And so whatever it is that you do, be it document prepares, you know, this one, I'm also saying, he was sick or whatever, maybe he was on leave. He didn't say it. Why? Because there's a mark of excellence on whatever it is that you do. They're using disciplines. They use disciplines learned and mastered over time. So you just don't become. It's not possible. You just don't. You are a highly professional procurement profession. No, you just don't become. You master things as you go ahead on a daily basis. Every day you are intentional about the growth that you want to see in your life. So as you do what you do, you are carrying a load of your followers with you because they are seeing you every day. That's why we say the fish rots from the head. When you see the fish rotting, because you know how these gates happen? It's because you want to have a director, and you want to be a and that's why a leader, it becomes a little bit easy for the other young ones to do it. Because it's like, that's the culture here. That's how we do things here. Number 6, they're self-aware. This is a very, very important point. You know, when I go and I teach, I ask people, I just say, who are you? And people ask me, because if we are professionals, I will not ask you. I just randomly ask, who are you? I come and say, I'm Monsignor. I'm Mrs. Maricel. You know, Amos is what they call. That's your name. That's not who you are. If a person doesn't have an accurate identification or definition of who they are, they can never become anything. You are not qualified to be a leader if you don't know who you are. If you're not self-aware, what makes you tick? What makes you angry? You know, as a leader, you set the tone when you come into the office. You're not emotionally intelligent. So you need to be self-aware, a self-regulated individual that rises above the noise and says, but we have a job to be done, and we're going to do it. Also, come on, man, woman, grow up. The world doesn't revolve around you. There are so many people out there that are waiting for you to make a decision so that their life should be changed. And you are going to wallow yourself pity over the issues that your husband has made you go through. Grow up. So be self-aware, be self-regulated as a leader. They know how to motivate themselves internally. They're not going to be as so what if they don't elevate you? It doesn't matter. You are doing a very good job. The world is not listening. Of course, we are also blaming you. So when we see all these substandard projects, we are blaming you, of course, and gladly so. Why? Because we have to blame somebody. We have to blame somebody. But what I'm saying to you, the message that I'm bringing to you is, you need to always be internally motivated. Even if people don't say, good job, tell yourself, a job well done. Post it on Facebook. It doesn't matter. Just overseeing the signing ceremony of Chan. It doesn't matter. And have 100 likes. You go home, you're feeling proud, internally motivated. They do not let their feelings disturb the work. They rise above the noise by choosing a response rather than reacting. So you carefully choose your response. Have you heard my voice? So usually people like to tease me over my voice. Now this is something I can't do about. Tell me about my skirt is very short, I'm going to change it. But you can't tell me that I'm too dark. Tell me my lipstick is too red, I'm going to change it to brown. But you can't tell me you're young and you're old. I can't do anything about it. I don't want to have plastic surgery, so I'm just still going to have the small legs, and you can deal with it. So it's how things are going to happen to you. There's a lot of people that don't believe I need to have the position that I have. But does it change anything? It doesn't. So you choose carefully a response. So when people say, just tell them nicely. Yeah, it's okay. Life is unfair to blind people. But has it taken away anything from you? No, it doesn't. Because I look good. The suit that I'm wearing, it has my name on it. It's custom made. So it doesn't matter what you say. If I feel good about it, I feel good about it. It's end of story. So leaders, they carefully choose a response. They never react to situations. Because when they do that, it means they are externally motivated. And you know what? You cannot because things are happening on a daily basis. Yeah. You can't control people. You can't control what people are going to write about you on Facebook. Like right now, you're going to post about what I'm saying, and I lose control over how this is going to be interpreted. The things that I'm saying right now, I lose control. So Because when it goes out there now, then it's like, yeah, that's not what I meant. I'll leave it. It has to go. Because people will choose what they want to believe. They have great social skills, such as identifying potential. It doesn't matter who do you know that. It doesn't matter who their father was. But if that person has potential, it is incumbent upon you as a leader to pick them up. They discipline people when they have to be disciplined, without showing favoritism. And the most important thing is they reward excellence. Somebody is doing a good job. It doesn't take away anything from you. Even if it's your junior, when you elevate yourself to the director position, tell them, it doesn't take away anything from you. It enhances who you are. They never use their position or influence to stifle the little people. The Bible says in Proverbs 3 verse 27, I love this verse so much. And do not withhold to do good, especially when it is in your power to do so. I'll put it there. You see, as Provincial people, you don't know how powerful you are. Even I think I should tell you who you are. You are the most powerful individual in office. Do you know that? If you want to make a man, to create a man, don't you office are broken. And you are the one you can make or break. That's the power that you have. But God is saying to you that do not withhold to do good, especially if it's in your power to do so. You know why that is? It's because there will be a moment in time when it will no longer be in your power to do so. It will matter, therefore, what you would have done when you had the power. So don't abuse your power to stifle the little people. If that business must go to that MSc, give them. Don't abuse your power. Styles of leadership. I'm going to go through quickly. I pointed out people invest in people. People destroy people. We have 7 that I picked. Now, autocratic style. Do as I say. If you have a position of supply chain, it isn't to make my bank. So you are very, very rigid. You don't want to change. Just do as I say. I am the smartest one here. Authoritative style, you follow me. They map the way forward. This is how things are going to be done. So everything is taking the shape according to what they have said, the tone that they've said. Pace-setting style, do as I do. So they put the bar very high and put pressure on everybody else. Do we have anybody from Airtel or TNM here? People themselves in these institutions, I'm also going to 50 million. So it doesn't matter how they're going to do it. Their job is to bring 50 million. So the bar is set very high and people are left to be running. Then we have the democratic style. It gets approval from employees first. It thrives on creativity. People are let to do things in their own way to achieve a particular goal. Only they are let to do it in their own way. So you're going to bring 50 million within this month. How you're going to do it is entirely up to you. But if you're 50 million. So you choose how you're going to make that happen. Then you have the coaching style. Use of a considered approach that maximizes very much on people's talents. So, like I am a coach, but I also have a coach. So my coach would say something like, so she's very respectful, she says, have you also considered this? So a coaching style, it makes people feel good about themselves. It makes people look at things that they never thought they possessed. And then they work so hard to ensure that they are unleashing those ones. And these are always created from interest. For example, nobody was born now who was playing drum. No. So they develop an interest in playing drums and then they learn and then they now become a very good drummer. Then we have the affiliative style. People come first. So this one is very much focused on people. Leaders support emotional needs of teams and they enhance collaboration within the team. However, I went under a person that was using affiliative style a lot. They get too much into people's business. Too much. So as a leader, so yeah, while you're focused on people, you can ask, oh, I think your husband is unwell. How is he doing now? Now he's doing okay. Don't get too much into people's lives. So you can have enough, just so that people should know, I think he cares. When you're not coming to the office for 3 days, he calls you and says, how are you feeling today? But it doesn't say, so the affiliate style is very good, but sometimes it can be abused, especially when there are power relations at play. And then we have the laissez-faire style. Let us swim with the current. This is when so, you know, usually people would ask, so which one is the best leadership style? I will not answer that question for the following reasons that I'm going to say later in the presentation. Now the question is, do you think everybody can be a leader? Is that true? Can we all be leaders? Our anchor today was talking about leadership. Amadi ena they are born leaders. Muna kulifumu re. Heir to the throne, then they become a leader. A leader exudes a brand of an entity. So he also talked about the Apple brand, Steve Jobs. I don't know if it was the board chairperson. I think it was the board chairperson. So when you think about Apple, the first name that comes to your mind will be Steve Jobs, right? Now we have this guy that you're talking about. Tim. I don't even know him, Mr. Poe. I don't even know him because as far as I'm concerned, Apple is Steve Jobs. All right? He was setting the tone, so he becomes synonymous with the brand. So when you talk about GIZ or you talk about Mazin, you are as a leader, you are the face of the institution. You are synonymous with that brand. When you leave, there should be a mark that you have left. That's a leader. A leader's character must cascade into the entire organization. You see, character is like Chipira. It doesn't really leave you. So if you are Mutuan, then you are a program manager, Mutuan. Mugabela Uchariji, you know what I'm doing, Mutuan Naso. Mugabela MIPS conference, you know, MIPS paid up member, because it's your character. So whatever character you develop, let's say a hard worker, it means you are a program manager, a hard worker. A MIPS member, a hard worker, like my husband. You know, something like that. Something like that. So, your character, you can hide it for some time. But eventually, it shows. You can't hide character. It shows. Good leaders know which leaders. So those leadership style I was talking about, good leaders will know. That's why I said I will not tell you which leadership style is good. Because the choice of a leadership style is contextual. It's going to be dependent on the situation, on the place or whatever, other variables that have to come into play. And so a good leader will know which one should be used. But great leaders will know that for you to lead effectively, you need a combination of all of them. Because there are sometimes you just have to be autocratic. Tibanga is end of story. As far as I'm concerned, many Muslims are the law and everything else, this is how we are going to do things here. I will need 5 minutes. I have absolutely no idea how I'm going to use 5 minutes to finish my presentation. Anyway, so I will run through. Professionalism. For me, I believe it's both an attitude and an act. It's not something that you wear. But one day I'm being a professional. Right? If you're a professional, it means you're a professional. There's no time that you become a professional and then there are times that you're not. But no one become a professional, no way. It's an attitude, it's a state of mind. It's also an act. A good thing can never be hidden. Cream always rises to the top. You can even quote me on that. Cream always rises to the top. This morning I saw a picture of our Honorable Justice Chifundo Wajada. He's in America as we speak, observing the American elections. Cream rises to the top. An African in Malawi, and some people in America don't even know, they can't even point where Malawi is. But our MIPS chairperson is right there, observing the elections, and obviously telling them how it can be done. Cream always rises to the top. So professionalism as an act, you're being a professional means executing a task according to the specifications that define high performance and productivity in your profession. Following the rules is a product of talent, training, and strive. And of course, you're going to fail so many times. As an attitude, being professional means exhibiting the mood, the temperament, the aura, and emotion appropriate for commanding public confidence in your profession. When you're internally motivated, you know that you convince people. You know, I never used to understand this until my husband started explaining to me. When you went to do the launch of the act, when all this time has been coming here for these conferences, I never understood. Now I know better. This, what you're doing right here, is very important. The only thing, Madam President, that I've noted, you are preaching to the already convicted. All of these problems that you're talking about, where are the SMEs? Where are the people that are doing all these things? I mean, where are they? They're supposed to be here. The next conference, I want you to bring the SMEs themselves. The reason why we don't give you businesses is because of this. The reason why these things are happening in Makwana, for the following reasons. According to strategic management, procurement function is a strategic function. And this is why we have to be there making decisions for you. 2.2 trillion that we have passed in Parliament, 60 or 70% of that is going to go towards procurement. Surely, as a nation, we can't leave out this function in the decision making. But then, where are the MPs? Where are the ones that are making those decisions? Where is the Minister of Finance? He was supposed to be here for you to be telling him these things in his face. So maybe that's food for thought, Madam President. So I'll jump. You're going to have my presentation. So I'll give myself a 2-minute extra because I wanted to talk about job creation as far as the procurement function is concerned. Yeah, so the question that has been asked is, can you really create 1 million jobs? The answer is yes, we can, and we will. And believe me, I'm not being political. So, we have to be innovative if we want to get there. So innovative education is urgently needed in Malawi. So these are photos of how we are doing our education in Malawi. I want you to pay close attention to these photos. There's a point that I'm trying to make. When you go to our Tibet institutions, that's what our young people are learning in our Tibet institutions. They're learning bricklaying. As long as we have human beings and we are giving birth to other humans, we are forever going to need housing, isn't it? We are forever going to need builders, carpenters, materials, and all of that. So those are our vocational skills training in Malawi. Now contrast that to that young people in other parts of the world. Are you seriously thinking that we are going to match this and that? If we're looking to industrialize our nation, we need to start thinking of this. Young people shouldn't just be doing this. By the way, do you know that even when we were building the presidential hotel, we didn't have certified bricklayers? Those Chinese had to bring in their own because we didn't have certified. So I am certified. I'm talking about somebody I might need certificate of bricklaying, didn't need it. We went to FCO 2 months ago, and it broke my heart, the CEO telling us, you have to give us an approval for us to bring in 35 welders. And I asked her, I said, excuse me, we don't have welders. No, those particular welders that they're looking for in Malawi, we don't even have a single one. And we have to allow them to bring in 35 Indian welders into Malawi. So that's our reality now on the ground. So if we continue doing this, we'll never get there. And then are we ready for climate change? So these are the real problems. Every single year we are talking about the same thing. Dodma has to go to the lower tier to give our people some food because we have floods. We are cutting down our trees. Look at those women. The energy issue has to be taken into consideration. And there's a skills gap, both at the lower and the higher level. Wherever you look, there's a skills gap in Malawi. So, in solving all of these problems, where are the procurement leaders? So these are questions that I'm leaving with you. Where are you on creating jobs in Malawi? Where are you on improving the lives of people in Malawi? If procurement personnel are willingly, out of their own volition, giving contract to substandard, politically connected, underperforming people, we will forever have a problem in Malawi. If you don't take up your role to say, this is my responsibility to ensure we make decisions that are going to benefit the poor masses, it's not the job of politicians alone. This is not politics. It's you. You are the ones that are making decisions as far as who gets what is concerned. in building the capacity of our largest demographic groups, the young people. Where are you? So the young people are the ones that are running these micro, small and medium enterprises. What is your role in ensuring that you're building their capacity? Because you are the ones who know how it's supposed to be done. Why can't you sit with them and say, no, I know, you should tell them someone, you just where are these people, are those people going to know what to do? Your job is to tell them how it's supposed to be done. Take them for lunch, or you can ask them, pay for lunch, I'll come, and explain to them how we want things to be done. Because not all of us went to a procurement school, so you definitely can't expect me to know how to write a big document. Never. It's your job to tell me how EU was their big documents written. Your job, not mine. What are you doing in leveraging on what seems to be our challenges? If that is a global sanitizer, that's a global maneuver. Because of the borders closure, EFCO, you may more, had to step up and start making sanitizers. I'm winning, that's right. And they are forward looking. They've made fortunes out of the COVID-19 crisis. While other businesses have closed down, we are unable to innovate and think beyond our scopes. Where is the procurement profession in challenging the status quo as far as business running is concerned in Malawi? Where are you contributing to Malawi's industrialization drive? Because we must industrialize. If you're not creating anything, we can never create wealth. The Vice President is very passionate about creating wealth, mindset change, and all of that. But if you're not creating something, no one makes anything by receiving from the side. If you're not creating, producing something that people can buy, we can never be rich. So we have to go the industry way. But if as a profession, you as procurement personnel, where are you on that? So these are the things that we want you to talk about, Madam President. When you're talking about sitting with your people, these are the things that you need to be addressing. Political influence, which has seen underqualified people working as procurement professionals, and you have even said it in your speeches. You need to stand up and defend your profession. No one else is going to do that. You know what? You cannot just wake up tomorrow and open up a clinic. Justice. And we were doing some meetings and we met the accountant, what do they call the association? ICAM. You know what they were telling me? I was talking to Magina Mizinga. She was telling you, no, when there's a malpractice, we bring them to justice. We call them and we can even revoke their license. Are you doing that? But how many procurement professionals have messed up in this country? Timas Wenega, who is procurement officer, how many have you disbanded? How many have you revoked their membership from MIPS? Kamena, are you just interested in getting their money? Because it runs the secretariat. Where is your conscience? What have you done to ensure that you're protecting your profession? She is talking about changing the perception of the profession. My dear, I want you to challenge you. It's not going to be easy. I will be there to support you. Number one, because you're a woman. Number two, because I believe in what you're doing. And number three, because it's identity so I'll support you. However, I need you to know that it's not going to be as easy as that. It is not easy because the perception of you guys out there is very bad. I went to a conference the other day and I was driving, it was 2 years ago, and I was driving an IST. God bless that car, I loved it. And after it was a brilliant presentation, and I'm feeling good about myself, and this guy comes up to the car park and says, "This is your car?" I'm like, "Yeah." What do you say? I'm like, "Oh yeah." I'm like, can you imagine? That's what people think about. Because my husband is a procurement professional, I'm supposed to design car and Rover, Range Rover. But seriously, I was supposed to do that. I've never met a man with so much integrity than my husband. And I'm not just saying this because I'm standing before you today. I'm saying this because it's the truth. We would rather be eating, what do you call it? Usibotira jenga. Usibotira jenga means umakawini is the cheapest on the market than to be stealing other people's money. And if each one of us were to do that, to say, I am not going to do this, I'm telling you, we are going to revolutionize how people look at you. And we are going to change the face of Malawi. And things are going to change. Our economy is going to change. So where are we in ensuring that we are protected? No, we are going to go on the streets. Because in Chito, here, director of procurement, have you done that? How many matches have you organized? So you need to have a number within you that is going to steer you guys and say, we are not going to tolerate nonsense anymore. We are changing the perception of people over us. I'm not going to talk about this. The job creation, I think I've said a lot. So our focus on SMEs is very obvious. It's because we are focusing as government on MSCs. The Justice was talking about 1.2 million SMEs that are registered with the government. Can you imagine if we were just to take even 500 of them and connect them to the NIF and Andrian drama to build their capacities? That will automatically have created 1 million jobs. And by the way, we need to redefine what a job is. Because as far as I'm concerned, the Tonse government has already created billions of jobs as of now. Because if our subsidy program is targeting over 2 million, because what is a job? Because I think it's wrong for us to be considering jobs as a paid up gig, right? Somebody has to employ you and then you get the money at the end of the day. Jobs shouldn't be defined. So why are we focusing on SMEs as a government? One, because we know that they are not capital intensive. They can make and use, they can use both skilled and unskilled labor. They can be set up within a very short period of time. And they encourage even distribution of wealth. I'm not going to talk much about barriers to growth on procurement professionals because I think we have exhausted that. This is my last slide. Is there a hope? I think there is. There is a lot of hope. We can ensure that Chapter 36, subsection B of the PPTA is realized. Reserve or set aside certain procurement requirements by restricting bidding to those enterprises. And we went to a certain conference and they were talking about, Kamtukule, indigenous Malawian in Nan. I think all of us know who an indigenous Malawian is. But we also know it is this thing that we have an attitude to know that indigenous Malawian, local isn't local anymore. But also, that's why I was saying, sometimes when you're doing these conferences, you need to bring the SMEs here, as Vera Oka. Jimpasa muntu business because to build capacity, and then they fail. Somebody was telling me, Nampasa will business, supply 20 laptops. 20 laptops. It was given to a Mwenye. 3 weeks. I'm funding 750 computers. 3 weeks, they supplied 750 computers. And that's huge amounts of money. So he was curious and he went and asked him, supply. Something very profound that I want to talk to you about, that you should be talking to SMEs when you're talking to them. Collaboration over competition. When we have an order like this, we gather together. Who has the most money? We gather together, we compete, we go and do that thing, we supply, we share the profit. Malawians were not very good at that. You would rather business CBJ, than we should collaborate with another person. You see, I'm very good at what I'm doing now. This is what God blessed me. God blessed me with a brilliant mind, but He blessed me so that I should be doing what I'm doing. My job is to motivate people and make people feel good about themselves, even when I'm lying. This is what I do. So I will think about anything. I can even think how we can sell this thing. For me to draft is and see the matter. So when I collaborate with somebody that is very good at that, we are going to create a bomb. But we don't want to do that. The more I go, that's the problem that we have. So we need to have enhanced collaboration over competition. And so we need to make decisive decisions on deliberate programs to build the capacity. But I want to challenge you that you must generalize when you're looking at those things. Because there are other MSMEs. I'm not making half a chance. You give them that, they will shock you. And for that reason, because you don't know who they are, you must give everybody a chance. It is incumbent upon you. Sit down with them, show them what you want, and see things happen. May God bless you as you continue to thank you so much. I don't know if I'm taking questions.
I was about to pronounce, you may now kiss the bride.
Thank you so much. So, where is Mr. Munamu? I don't know if I'm taking questions. Or
just one or two, I think.
Maybe over lunch. I'm still available. I'll leave after lunch.
Ah, great.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, Honorable Vera Kamtukule. It's been a nice presentation. A big round of applause for Vera. For now, allow me just to call you Vera. Is that Honorable? Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, allow me just for 2 minutes, we should just do a presentation to our presenter, Vera Kamtukule. Vera Kamtukule, will you please come back on stage? Just come in front, and then I invite Madam CEO, Madam Wale, just stand there so they can take a nice picture of you receiving your award for the presentation. Presentation ya bo, muntu so about bo, so my members